What is up, everybody? It's Cody with Blood Money MMA Bets, and here with a bunch of great dudes. Got co-host JohnnyKpicks. What's up, Johnny? How you
What
doing
is
today?
up? Always great to see you guys and be in a panel with all you guys. You guys are great minds. I'm ready for some fights and some bets. Let's win some money. Yeah,
Let's
I'm
go.
ready.
Let's go. Patrick with Addicted to Combat. How you doing today, man?
Man, and the sun is shining. We got fights in Miami, pay-per-view week to return to, and now we got like 7 straight UFC events counting tonight. So ready to get after
Can't
some
wait.
betting action. It was a fight card I didn't actually like from a betting perspective when I looked at it, but now I've got way more than I anticipated having. A lot of prop bets. Not too heavy on the money lines, but there's a lot of good props to talk about. So can't wait to see the rematch of the middleweight division.
Yep, and I know you've been killing the props. You hit that Landwehr second round sub. What'd you get, like, win 12, 14 units last week or 2 weeks ago?
11.98 at San Antonio. Yeah, the props are hitting the got some more split decision calls that I'm going to try to hit just like last time. So let's get after it.
Nice. Let's go. And we got Dr. Sarowitz back in the building. How you doing tonight, Doc?
What's up, bud? Good to be back. Yeah, I was saying before, I'm pretty stoked about this card. I've never seen so many like super polarizing fights. Usually it's like a main event where people are going both ways, but I could probably pick 5 or 6 fights here where I bet we're going to be split on. It's
going back.
It's going to be good.
Yeah, we finally got some decently close fights, even though some of them are still lined crazy. They're still good fights, and everybody, most people know Addicted to Combat Patty. Check him out, man. He's on everything: TikTok, Twitter, Instagram, YouTube, putting out great videos every single week. JohnnyKpicks, you know, too. And then Dr. Sarowitz, follow him on Instagram. Everybody's link is in the description in this video. Follow him on Instagram and follow FaceMeetFist, man. He's the guy that owns FaceMeetFist, brings all this cool MMA gear to everybody. I'm always wearing the stuff. It's super cool. Johnny's about to get a shirt. So
that's right.
Actually, I'm about to send Dev the dude's going to be repping. He won a shirt. I got a couple more I'm giving out. And but yeah, man, been doing some cool giveaways with that stuff. And it's super cool.
Doc, it was cool to see. I saw, because I know your brand and I followed you when you were on these guys' stream a while back. And then I saw Linton Vassell get that upset in Bellator. And that was awesome to see him. I'm like, he's repping Doc's brand. That's awesome.
Yep.
Yeah, and talking about a best case scenario, right?
Yeah. And that was cool. His walkout was cool as hell and everything. What was it? Bryce Meredith? He wore it out.
Yeah, so I have my mouth guard company too, you know, like the day job. I'm a dentist, so that's how I met a lot of these guys, through the mouth guards and just being patients in my office. So I got a bunch of guys repping the mouth guards too. I got a few out there tonight too, which we can talk about as well.
Yeah, definitely.
So you always got to give them a little bit of edge if they're using one of my mouth guards.
Helps them take a punch, 100%. Man. Hell yeah, that makes a big difference. You see some of these people go out there with their mouth guards, don't even fit in their mouth. Who was it? Like Mitrione? Somebody like lost a fight because every time they get hit, their mouthpiece came out.
You want to know something funny? He called me 3 or 4 days before that fight because he needed something for the debut, and we had to time it perfectly. Like he was going to land in New York for a day before he went to, I want to say, Connecticut. Okay. Long story short, his flight got delayed. We couldn't connect, and he was like, "Yeah, I'm just going to find something like at CVS or something." And I was like, "I don't think you want to do that."
That's
but there's a lesson learned. I don't think he's making that mistake again. But I told people about that for months afterwards. I was like, you think you're okay, just don't take the chance. Why?
No, that's I would think as a fighter, any equipment that they let me use and I can use that protects me, dude, I want to have the best of the best, you know, because like your mouth guard, that's what you want to bite down and take punches and do all that, dude. And if yours is moving around in your mouth, so yeah, I remember that. That's what's cool. That's why I love having you on, because you got all these little inside stories and stuff, man. That's super cool.
Yeah, I got a few for tonight's card too. So when we get to it, I'll put them out. I'll put them out there.
Let's go. Right. Let's say what's up to everybody in the chat real quick. We got our boy Bunny Hunter in the house. What is up, man? He said, make sure you hit that like button for these guys as soon as you come in the chat. These guys produce great content. That's the least we can do. Appreciate you for coming out all the time, Bosa. Always coming out and supporting, man. Yes, Glenn Bot, what is up? He said, what's up, gentlemen? What's up, Glenn? We appreciate you coming out from the Highlands, the Scottish Highlands. Saba said the doc returned. Loving it. Saba's the man. Saba? Yeah, appreciate you always coming out, hanging out, Saba, everywhere. 138 MMA Tyler says, can't wait to hear the argument over Gastelum Curtis fight.
I'm ready.
Yeah. Ryan Jordan, what is up? 287 Blood and Johnny. It's going to be a great day, people. It's going to be the best. This is going to be a great card. Pink Floyd, what is up, man? It's a great panel. This is fire panel. We got to put it together big for the pay-per-views, man.
Yep.
Mayorovs, right? I pronounced it wrong on
Yeah.
the last one. Yep, Mayorovs.
Sounds about right.
Man? He said, let's go. Let's see. Pablo Escobar on the bottom right, Patty. My boy Nibs, what's up, Jason? He said, let's go, guys. Great show. Keep up the fantastic content coming. Appreciate it. I did my show with Brady and them from his basement when we did that one live stream. So that's my boy Nibs. Christ Flair. Okay, we're out here doing a proper pre-show live. Nice. All love, my guys. Appreciate you coming out too. As always, BC Dave, love this panel of pickers, all murderers. Speaking of murderers, go join Dave's Tapology group, 926. Go join it. He'll let you in, and it's where all of us. Patrick, you in it? You do?
No, I never used Tapology. I still haven't gotten on there.
You'll love it.
Yeah, it's fun as hell. You'd be good at it. As a matter of fact, you should probably just stay off it. You'd come on there and just whoop us off. And 926, go on there if you guys use it. Dr. Sarowitz, if you're on there, I don't know if you do Tapology. It's a little thing, and people compete on there and all that on his group. It's fun. FE, what is up? Any Action Sportscast. Everybody go check out FE stuff, man, on Any Action Sportscast. All his UFC breakdowns with football, everything's in. He does it all, man. Said hit up Shavkat, Doc. He needs a better mouthpiece. Yeah, was his coming out in that last fight?
I think so. Remember. Yeah. It was out for like half a round, I want to say.
Yeah.
Right, I forgot about that.
Oh, yeah. All right, yeah. Yep. When Izzy finished, Izzy win. When is Izzy finished? Izzy wins. Derek Izzy. When Izzy finished? I don't know, man. That's going to be a really good fight.
When Izzy is finished.
Yeah. I finally got that at the end, my brain. Didn't mean to leave out Patty, Natty, and the Doc. What's this up, Brian? Saba, I'm ready for this card, man. Let's do it. Well, let's do it then. Let's do it, man. First fight we're going to go over. Carl Williams versus Chase Sherman. Johnny, I'm going to let you start this one off, man.
All right. So Carl Williams coming in on short notice, but I still think he's going to win this fight because of his takedowns in wrestling. And Chase Sherman literally has no takedown defense at all, I don't think. So if he can keep this fight standing for whatever reason, I think he's going to have a good shot to win. But I'm going to pick Williams. I don't have any bets. I'm going to say he wins by decision. The only little worry for me, though, is if Sherman survives like 2 rounds, and a third round he just comes out and then maybe gets a knockout because Williams is a little gassed. Other than that, I think Williams should win this fight pretty easily with his wrestling. So I'll say Williams by decision.
Okay. All right. Williams by decision. Patty, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm on the same side as far as a bet for this fight. If I had to, I would pick Williams by decision, which is sitting around plus 140 on DK right now. I mean, I would see that's also the issue with Williams for me is he's on short notice. He's not much of a finisher, and he's not a true heavyweight. Although at the face-offs and the weigh-ins, they did look equally sized there. But we saw Williams get a little bit tired last time. He dominated Brzezinski just 4 weeks ago to the day. And, that's going to happen. But what happens when you can't put a heavyweight away and you get tired? Chase Sherman, we did see he can at least finish somebody in round 3, and that was Jared Vanderas. So you can take what you want away from that finish in round 3 last July, but they could happen. So I could see this going very poorly, especially when you look at a minus 400 money line of Carl Williams. A little bit ridiculous. That's not due to the skill of Williams. It's due to people just hating on Chase Sherman.
Right.
Rightfully so. But give me Williams by decision. Nothing to do with this fight at all.
I like it. Doc, who do you got?
So I'm actually pretty big on Carl Williams. You got to put a little asterisk when it's a short notice fight, especially at heavyweight. You got to wonder how out of shape these guys get between camps. So I put my bet in late, though. I waited till after the weigh-ins. He was only a half pound heavier than his debut. So the hope is that he's in fighting shape and can push it for 3 hard rounds because he needed 3 hard rounds in his debut. He doesn't strike me as a particularly dangerous heavyweight, kind of one of these guys that likes to really slow the pace down and control. So I have a little extra juice on Williams by decision. And then again, talking about Chase Sherman, he's another one who just doesn't strike me as being particularly dangerous. He's more of a volume guy, tries to wear out his opponents. He doesn't strike me as like a one punch knockout kind of heavyweight. So I think the third round should be interesting.
Right.
But all that aside, I'm pretty heavy on Carl Williams here. And a lot of guys on this card, and girls, I should say, you have a lot of up and comers with a lot of hype. I'm buying the hype for most of these. Like the analogy I give, it's like buying a stock at that IPO price, getting them before the word is totally out. But I will say the line on this fight is insane. If this was like a minus 200, minus 240, that's something I could kind of wrap my head around and feel good about. So I got the decision just to get a little extra juice on it, but I'm real heavy on Carl Williams here.
I like that. I like Carl Williams too. I think his wrestling, I'm actually really impressed with this dude. Like, even though when he looks tired, he still pushes through it and fights hard. Like, I like his chain wrestling. I think that's going to be a big problem. His speed's going to be a problem for Chase Sherman. And it's like you guys said, even on short notice, like Chase Sherman, he gets tired too, especially from grappling. So that was my only worry. I don't have no bets on this or nothing, and I would definitely go with Carl Williams by decision. But my only worry is like Carl Williams kept taking down Bretsky. And I know he's not much of a finisher, but he was beating up Bretsky a little bit. But Bretsky's jiu-jitsu was okay. Like, he at least kept getting up, kept pushing. And I'm just worried that Chase Sherman's jiu-jitsu is not as good. And once he gets mat returned a couple times, his ass might just lay there and end up getting beat up like he did with Collier. But like I say, Carl Williams ain't the biggest finisher, so I don't know if he'll just ground and pound him out. It doesn't look like, he's going for a lot of submissions or nothing either. So I like Carl Williams by decision. I think that's a pretty safe bet. But I didn't have any bets on this fight. We got people in the chat. Saba was going with Williams, KO, TKO round 3. We got Jenna. What is up, Jenna? Appreciate you coming out and hanging out as always. Glenn Bott, Chaser round 3, KO 35-1.
That's nice.
Crazy odds. Yeah. BC Dave, Tapology Group 926, top 15 now, as it should be. The more pickers, the better we get. Thanks for the plug, homie. As all the time, Dave's a great dude. BC Dave's a great dude. I actually went to bed last night early as hell after doing tape study, and then when I woke up, I seen I had an invite from Range to be on the show last night, but I was sleeping by like 8. I keep getting up at like 6:30 in the morning. That's crazy. MMA Propaholic is in the house. He said, love this fucking Pano. Good luck today, everyone. Good luck to you too, MMA Propaholic. Everybody check him out. He just did his first full card breakdown on YouTube. He's on Twitter. I don't know if he's on Instagram, but he's on everything else. And he's a good dude, and he knows his stuff, and he puts in hard work, man. So appreciate you coming out, hanging out with us, Propaholic. Zach said he's ready for tonight. Let's go. Mushrooms or MMA Propaholic said, I did bet the fight doesn't go to decision. If Williams doesn't finish Sherman, he would never finish anyone. I don't know if he will finish anyone. I don't know if that's the style. Mushroom MMA, what is up? He said, what's up, Cody? Everybody follow Mushroom MMA, dude, on Instagram, Philly Mushroom, on YouTube, Mushroom MMA. Check him out. He does great content, knows his stuff. He's got a ton. You've seen him on our show before. He's been on, man. He's got a ton of energy. Yep. Great guy. So everybody check out Mushroom MMA. Him and Propaholic just did a great show together this week. I'm sure you see more of that kind of show with them guys together. It was good. He said, sorry, Chase round 3, 40-1. Mushroom said, what up, Johnny?
What up, Mushroom?
What up, Patrick? Glenn Bott, everybody's saying what's up. He said, what's up, Andrew? Jenna, yo. Everybody, see, that's why I love doing these shows, man. We got the best chat in the game. Everybody's super cool. You don't really see nobody on here arguing or doing nothing stupid, just saying what's up. Christ Flair said there's a real possibility that Sherman can capitalize on Williams getting tired in the later rounds, which is why I think this fight's a dogger pass.
Yeah, and that's my only little worry. Worry.
Right, but Sherman is terrible, dude. He is.
I know.
He's
really
so not good. But yeah, Mushroom said fire panel. Thank you, Propaholic. All right, let's go to fight number 2, which is, well, I'm not always, I'm not in the right order. So, but this will be that.
Spice it up.
Fight. Yeah. Sam Hughes versus Jacqueline Amore. Patrick, I'll let you start this one, man.
Yeah, I mean, the money line is wide, obviously in the favor of the newcomer, Amore, who's undefeated, so she'll probably be the favorite. She's a finisher, all-round one as a female strawweight, so there, you can expect that this number is going to be where it's at. What is she, like a minus 260 favorite or something like that?
Yeah.
But, just considering it's her debut, she hasn't really fought the best competition. Just too wide for me to really trust her here. If I were to play anything, it would be Amore inside the distance. We've seen her have a one-punch knockout before. The rest have all been submissions, super high level. Sam Hughes, not the best, but she does have at least proven ability to go later into a fight against UFC level competition. So it's a dicey fight. So the money line I'm not interested in, but I would choose Amore inside the distance here. And I do think she gets another round 1 submission.
I like it. Doc, who do you got?
So I said it before, but I'm playing the hype in a lot of these fights. I like Jacqueline here, but I will make another point about it too. I've seen this movie before. The overhyped debut or second fight, and it only happened a few weeks ago. You remember the Juliana Miller fight? I think she was like minus 490 or something, and after there she couldn't get the sub. She just flopped around for about 15 minutes, and it was really painful to watch. I don't think that's going to happen here. That's not going to deter me from making the bet, but that's always going to be in the back of my mind with these kind of fights. That all the speculative stuff is priced in. You're not getting any extra value here. I like the idea of her getting a finish, but also a lot of these overhyped debuts have gone to decision because of jitters, because of gas tank management and stuff like that. So I wouldn't be surprised if she wins a decision here. But I'm pretty heavy on Jacqueline. I mean, the tape looks good. Sam Hughes is not quite as durable as some of the other ladies in the division, so I think a finish is very possible. But give me a Jacqueline money line, and if it doesn't come through, at least we're not going to be surprised.
Right. Yeah. I like that. Johnny, what do you got?
Yeah, I'm on the hype train as well. I'm on Amore here.
Hype train.
Her BJJ is pretty much top tier, I think. And if Sam Hughes is going to get submitted by Vanessa Demopoulos, I think Amore can do the same thing and probably quicker. I think that was in round 4 of a round 5 fight. But yeah, I just she's got really good BJJ. That's basically, and Sam's been wanting to wrestle. That's when she's been doing good. When in her wins, she's been wrestling. And if she stays on the feet, she's not that great. And I think Amore is actually just as good or better than Hughes too. So wherever this fight goes, I think Amore is going to be the better fighter. It's just the little red flag for me is after round 1, how is Amore going to look? But I'm not too worried unless if it gets in the round 3 and she's looking like she's struggling, then I'll be worried with my bets. But I have Amore in a parlay money line, and I also have her inside the distance. So I think she does get it done. I'm going to say first round submission. I don't think it's going to be quick or under a minute, but I think eventually she's going to get the rear naked choke or maybe an arm bar or something like that.
I like it. Yeah, man. I'm super glad that all 3 of you guys are on Amore like that. I'm on her. I'm hyped up about her. I think not just for this fight. I do have a couple bets. I have the under 2.5 in this because she's a finisher. She's going to finish Hughes. Somehow some craziness happens. She slips and stumbles on a banana peel. Hughes has finished 5 of 7 of her wins too, but I expect Amore to get this done. Amore I expect her to be a big prospect, get up in the top 10 because she's a lifelong mixed martial artist. Started training at 6. Her dad had her training. She's doing jiu-jitsu, doing judo. She was on the Brazilian national freestyle team, wrestling team. You know what I mean? So she's got everything you need to win. She has hands. She knocked one girl out in 10 seconds. I don't think she's going to come in here and freeze up because, like I said, it's not like a 25-year-old girl that just started training at 18 and this and that and, hitting the big show. This girl's been training her whole life. Sam Hughes didn't start training MMA until after she graduated college from running track. When she was running track in college, this girl was flying around the world to choke other badass girls to sleep. So give me Amore, dude. I think she does. I think she does get it done in the first round. She's a 2nd degree black belt. And I believe that she's going to get one takedown and not just go right boom to a submission, but she works her way. She transitions really well. she'll get knee on belly, start laying in some ground and pound. And when the girls either turn their back, give their back up, or try to get up, leave any opportunity open, she's hitting the arm bar. She's hitting the arm triangle. She's hitting a knee bar. It's going to be something. But she's a lifelong fighter. And I think that she's going to be good. She's going to get this submission here. So, and I got some good bets on her. I have her parlayed with Kevin Holland and then with Bill Alagio next week. But I'm really high on this girl. I think that this girl's like a Mackenzie Dern, but even better because she actually comes in with the wrestling. She's knocked a girl out like so, and she could have just better striking than Hughes too. She could be an all-around. We just don't know yet, but she could be an all-around better fighter than Hughes. She could have better cardio, better striking. All this, we're just like we don't know. But I'm going to go on this just because Hughes is not good anywhere. You know what I mean? It's not like she's bad, but she's not great. It's not like if she keeps it standing, she's so good striking, or if she gets it to the ground, she's not really great anywhere. She's like a good gatekeeper. So we will see what's up. Let's see, Nick Sisson. What's up, gentlemen? Four of my favorite MMA geniuses all at once. All y'all hit that like button, pay attention to these gentlemen, and let's make some money. Let's go, Nick. Appreciate that shout out, Nick. Man. Hanging out with us, spending your day with us. Saba, it would be bad if you come into the UFC with so much hype and lose to Sam Page, with all the respect. Exactly. Mushroom said, what's up, Ice Viking? Ice Viking's in the house. What is up, man? He kills it on that Tapology group. He's on Twitter. Check him out on Twitter too. Bunny Hunter, I think if you look at the percentage of debut fighters to lose, it's pretty high. Yeah, but not all of them come in with this background, but I'm sure it's definitely high. Pressure, all that. So I'm hoping none of that happens, man. If you said BC Dave, let me in the Tapology group. I'm coming for the top spot. Don't let him in, Dave. He's too good.
I just requested it as well, Dave. So
there we go. Look at go. Group is blowing up. Broken Native. So what's up, morning, gentlemen? He won the contest, Dr. Sarowitz. That's where the jacket's going on. I'm telling you right now, man, that jacket is so nice that he won. I got compliments in front of my girlfriend with it by a girl. So
yeah, I told you there's only maybe 3 of them out in the wild, so it is a very special jacket.
Yes, there you go. And one will be in. What is he from? New Zealand? You said
New Zealand. Yep. So he's gonna be
one's gonna be there. So
and it's so light and night, like it's literally so nice. This is so nice. I've been wearing it all the time. Mushroom. Sophie Simpson, what is up? Said Sam gives up her back too when she goes to stand up. Yeah, she does. Pereira fight, she gave up her back the whole fight. Yep, and Pereira couldn't capitalize on it, but I guarantee you this girl will. Yeah, Cody Amore, sub. Let's go, Mushroom. Cameron Sinet, what is up? Said Kevin Holland. Nah, okay.
Dev, is that you?
Ice Viking. I just played Timbo's Lambo sub parlay. Amorem, Bahamandez, Nerd and Becky. $6 to return $8.20. That's a big come up, man.
I like the Bahamandez sub. It's sneaky.
Yeah. But that's big money. Big money coming back. Let's see, MMA Propaholic. I actually think Sam can make it a little dicey if this one gets out of round 1. I'm more than likely will live bet Sam depending on how Jacqueline looks after round 1. I don't think you're going to get a chance for that live bet. I don't know. I think she breaks that arm off.
It'll save him some money though.
Yeah, but that's a good call though. That is a good call.
Wait, Cody, you have the under 2.5. You have Amore parlayed with somebody, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Isn't that bittersweet to have, like, I like doing it that way too, where like the first fight of the night on the prelims, you kind of know the direction of where it's going. You know, you get that stress out of the way.
It is. But dude, I think it was the second fight of the last card. I was in Nashville sitting in a van watching it, and I had the under, and the same thing. I had the under, and I had to do it on 2 parlays, and it happened to be CJ Vergara. So that was pretty interesting. Had my heart going a little bit. Set the tone, dude. That was so crazy. But,
thank you, Jason.
If that would have went under, I would have won 1,400. I would have won 14 units. I would have went 4-0 if that fight. And I mean, if it would have went under with Vergara winning, though. But I'm glad. I won more with Vergara winning than I would have won if he would have lost, and it would have won others. Euphoria, Pereira, Rosas Jr, Godinez, Pifer, Yanez, Shakur Stevenson plus 992. Okay, all right.
What's Stevenson? I'm not sure.
He's a boxer. Shakur Stevenson.
I know nothing about boxing, so I like the bet though.
Yeah. The Doc cursed Piero de Jan with the Marab mouthpiece.
We were heavy on Marab that card.
I wish I would have been.
I wish I am.
Yeah, just hearing about how he talked about that fight, he said, and I quote, he would die before he loses to Peter Yan. And sometimes people just say that, but
He means it.
I believed him. Yeah.
His striking looked a lot better, dude. His striking,
Yeah.
I was striking
Pieced them
Yan.
up, yeah.
Yeah. So like, I mean, I'm not glad. Listen, I don't wish it on nobody. But if I got to sit through that 5 rounds of beating Jan took, it was kind of a little better when I had Sandhagen doing it to Vera. It's so much better being on the other side of the fucking beating. You know what I mean? I sat there with Jan like, okay, that's like, what's that meme where they're like, they got like a stick at a rock. They're like, do something. And he's like poking the rock. That's what I was waiting. I'm like, Jan, like do some Jan shit. And he just, dude, Merab was on him. So I bet you hit super big on that. And you had some other good ones on that card too.
I had a real big parlay with Merab with John Martinez. So I was gifted that Martinez one. But yeah, and I'll tell you that's relevant tonight too. A lot of those guys from Iridium are just like on fire. John Martinez, Chris Gutierrez, and we got 3 or 4 of them on the card tonight. So
Gutierrez
when we
next
get
week.
to it, I'll let you know. Oh yeah, big time.
Yup. Antoine said, yo, what's up, boys? Fight night, fight of the night prediction. Probably Piero.
Yanez and Font.
I was going to say that too. I'm with Johnny on that one.
Yeah. Yeah, he broke his hand 5 months ago, but it only takes 4 to 6 weeks to get that hand healed. Let's see. And the worst ass
we'll get there, but
had. Yeah, no.
I was gonna say, as long as Holland's head's in the game, like I think he's.
That's not a good bet to make.
Worried about
Holland's head being in the game. That's not a good bet to make.
The thing is, though, is like we got to talk about Holland's hand, but nobody's talking about what Alex Morono on 3 days' notice was doing to Ponzi. Like I bet Ponzi, and I was like, what? I was like, Ponzi's washed, dried, folded, put away in the closet. I mean, even with the knockout, you're still like. Let's see. Euphoria. Cody, we had the GOAT Tajik in the chat trying to tell you Merab Austrian. Yeah, he was. Win some, lose some, man. Yeah, Pink Floyd 53 watching 21 likes. Smash that like button for us. Let us know you like what we're doing so we keep doing it. We all deserve a gift decision every now and then. Yeah, because, we lose them. We lose them more than we get gifted ones. I feel like me anyways. With the injury thing, that Dusko injury, that sent me over the edge, man. All right, let's get to this next fight. Gerard Mearshart and Joseph Pifer. Doc, I'm gonna let you start this one because I know you may know some stuff.
Yeah, I got a little skin in the game with both of these guys. So I know Pifer pretty well. He's part of that Philly crew that I work with a lot. I'm talking Andre Petrosky, Sean Brady, throw Jeremiah Wells in there, and if you add those guys together, I want to say there's only one UFC loss in there if you're not counting the Tough Show. Those guys are really well-rounded and really have a tendency to outperform. Here we go. And again, I'm all aboard the hype train on a lot of these fights. Joe Pifer is one of those too. He's a guy who is just absolutely huge for the division. I know he had a particularly tough cut for this fight. And it shows. He looks like he should be up a weight class, when you see him kind of squaring off. I think all those guys are Daniel Gracie trained. I don't think he's going to fall into anything silly. If Gerald's going to catch him, it's going to have to be well earned. And on the flip side, Gerald is doing a lot of his camp with Kill Cliff. They are very striking heavy, training with Henry Hooft and Coach Strout. So I wouldn't be shocked if he tries to get cute and do a little bit of stand up to get in close and close the distance. I think that will cost him dearly. So I got Pifer by TKO. I'm pretty big on Pifer straight to win, but Pifer by TKO has a little extra juice. If you want to play it a little safer, you could do a double chance. Gerald by sub, Pifer by TKO. That pays pretty well too. But all aboard the hype train.
I like it.
And he's rocking one of my mouthpieces too. So you got to give him like a 5% edge for that. Yeah.
Okay. Okay, he's got the mouthpiece in. See, I didn't put that into my breakdown and put that
5%,
Yeah,
a little extra.
At least. Patty, who you got on this one?
Yeah, man, riding with Gerald Mearshart once again here. But the way that you play both of these guys, because Doc is totally right. I mean, the under 1.5 for Pifer, the way he's won the large majority of his fights, all but one. That's how Gerald's been finished as well. We've never seen Gerald actually get out of his 17 UFC fights, 10 wins in the UFC. This guy has not had a decision win. So neither of these guys should you probably play on the money line. Really, I mean, you could play them both inside the distance. So that's what I'm taking with Gerald, plus 225, 1 unit inside the distance. A quarter unit apiece on his sub 2 and sub 3, which are 850 and plus 1400 respectively. I mean, look, if Pifer doesn't finish him early, maybe he gasses himself out trying to finish Gerald Mearshart. And then, Mearshart is very capable kickboxer of the southpaw stance, very good grappler as well. I'd say Pifer is the more physical wrestler, just the younger man by quite a bit. It's going to be up to Gerald to maybe sweep and reverse that position. But I think he gets it done down the stretch. So big step up in competition going from Alan Amadovsky to Gerald Mearshart for Joe Pifer. So give me the dog.
I like it. I like it. So we got one on Pifer, one on GM3. Johnny, who you got?
Yeah, I'm gonna say Pifer wins. I'm not super confident. I'm like right in the middle, but I think he's more explosive. Early on, I think if he's gonna win, it's gonna be in rounds 1 or 2. I think it's gonna be in round 2. I think it's gonna get that knockout. GM3 has shown other than the Chimaev fight, like he's been pretty durable, and that was about 5 fights ago. He's shown some pretty good, durability and cardio and like toughness. And I don't know if it's because he changed camps or whatever, but I think he'll survive the first round, maybe even try some takedowns, and maybe even Pifer will try a takedown here and there too. So I think it will go to round 2. I have a bet on that. I think it's at minus 150. But after that, I think it's either going to be like a GM3 submission round 3, or it's going to be a Pifer KO round 2. So give me Pifer. I say knockout in round 2.
Okay. Yeah, man, I literally went back and forth on this fight on who's going to win. I would not take anything on who I think's going to win. I think that under 2.5 is money because of what you guys have said. I think it's Pifer early or GM3 late. Johnny fell out of his chair. I just need something to take. But like you guys said, because Pifer, man, he hits hard with both hands, cracking with both hands. I know with GM3, he's shown – it's weird with him. Like he's shown great durability against Mahmoud Muradov. He showed great durability against Bruno Silva, but then Ian Heinisch knocks him out. Kamzat hit him with that perfect shot though. But so I don't know, man. That's why it's hard for me to pick. But I would just pick the under 2.5. I got killed. I had a lot on Bruno Silva against GM3 last fight, and that was just like a weird fight. But he does that, man. That's another thing is GM3 fights completely different every fight too. You don't know what you're going to get. Okay, so against Muradov or whatever, Muradov, he came at him forward the whole time and put a pace on him, and like he ended up gassing out, and that's how he choked him out in the second round. Like he just kept coming forward. He ate a lot of shots to do that, but then against like Kamzat, he comes out and he backs up the whole time, and when he's backing up, he's just not near as good, man. He gets up against the cage and he doesn't have the greatest head movement. He rolls good, but he doesn't have the greatest head movement in the world. But yeah, man, I'm going with the under 2.5. I say GM3 uses some experience and just doesn't get knocked out in that first round and a half, and somehow comes back in the third. But like I said, I could see him getting knocked out in the first round and a half. So I would just bet the under 2.5 but it's just so hard. Like I said, I stay away from betting money lines in GM3 fights. I can never get him right. I've had like people against him, like Trevin Giles, you know what I mean? Like all the different guys. Someone said it, dude, round 3, just some Mearshart submission round 3. If you're going to bet Mearshart, you might as well bet that, because that's like what he does, or just round 3 finish. But yeah, man. So we're 2-2 split here, but we all agree that the under is the play, right?
Mm-hmm. Yeah. One of my guys was telling me, who was chatting with Pifer, he was almost annoyed at the submission talk. Because like I said, those guys, they train with Daniel Gracie. They're all really, really high level grapplers and submission guys. And look at like Andre Petrovsky or that similar kind of body style. They just like to steamroll people, and that's kind of how I see this going. Just a total steamroll, like just do it until it stops working, right? So I think he's just gonna kind of keep coming forward and try to take his head off.
Yeah, because he does.
It could totally happen. The way I would see this going is like I think Pifer will be more physical and quicker in round 1. But if he, gets close to a finish, if he kind of like the Machman Murdoch fight that Cody brought up, like if he gets close to a finish, Gerald gets saved by the bell, keeps on kind of rope-a-doping, can nullify the position on the ground and be safe from ground and pound. And then round 2, Joe Pifer's never really, had success down the stretch of a fight that way. Could Gerald then start taking over and the tides turn? That's where I would see this happening. But round 1, I would say it goes to Pifer all day.
Especially because, man, dude, like I said, it's so, dude, I think I'm just done betting Gerald Mearshart fights one way or the other. Because like, oh my God, Bruno Silva one killed me. And like, but I can see Pifer having that takedown defense because that's what killed Bruno Silva too a little bit. Is he got taken down in that first round and held down and ground and pounded a little bit for like 2 minutes. So I think Pifer's got the wrestling to keep it standing. But this is going to be a hell of a fight to watch. That's for sure.
Yeah, I'm going back to the well with my boy because it's UFC San Diego last August. Yeah, I had GM3 by submission, a nice juicy number, and then right at the end he's about to knock out Bruno Silva. I'm like, no, and then he jumps on his neck and extends the submission record in the division. I'm like, that's my boy right there. That's where we bet him.
Yep. MMA Propaholic, thank you for the donation, bro. We really appreciate that, nice. Man. So phenomenal, especially since you got your own show and all that. That's why he's great in the community. He's been in the community for a long time, years too, and he's a young dude. So really appreciate that, man. No love. So good night. My lock of the night is Masvidal by KO. Flying knee, jab. Philly Gracie Jim fucking represent. Yeah, mushrooms from Philly. So yeah, Philly mushroom. Saba's got Mearshart round 3. Mushrooms got Pifer round 2 KO. I definitely can see that happening. Tyler 138 MMA GM3 third round sub is what I'm on. I don't know too if I said it earlier, but I hope I did. But everybody check out Tyler on Twitter at 138 MMA and check out his YouTube because he has really good content and he has really good takes on fights. And he really knows his stuff, and he deserves to have he's got a lot of subscribers, but he deserves.
He's getting close to 1,000 too. He's about to crack 900, I think.
Yep, and he deserves it. And so does Patty. Patty, what are you at? You at 900?
Yeah, I cracked 9. I can't believe it. Man. Everybody's so cool, man. I owe a lot of it to you guys too for always.
No, you work hard, bro. You work hard, and you deserve it, man. You put in all the work, and you know your stuff, just like Tyler 138. You can tell. Just by listening to him talk for a little bit, he knows his stuff. He gets
the whiteboard out, man. Gives us the visual.
Love the whiteboard.
Yeah. Gotta love it. MMA Propaholic, he says, agree. I have Pifer money line parlayed with Burns. Fight starts round 2 -101. I like that. Pifer will walk him down and KO him. That's what Gerald does when he gets KO'd is gets walked down. And body bags is definitely the man to do it. Bunny Hunter likes body bags, man. MPTV, what is up? Fresh back from a beating from his fiance. Remember that? I'm going with you here. Play the odds. Youth here. Play the odds. I like it. On the last show, he said his fiance was getting on. Mushroom Mearshart has no right hand defense. Okay, yeah.
Oh.
Like Mearshart can't see a right hand coming, getting hit hard. He got dropped against Mahmoud like 4 times. Got Pifer round 2 KO parlayed with Pereira round 2 KO. Okay, that's got to pay some good money. Shane, mushroom makes sense actually. Yeah, always does. Saba, quick prediction for next week. Holloway Allen. I got to do tape, but Holloway. I mean, obviously I got to say Holloway off the bat before I watch tape. Just the fact that it's Maximus Holloway. But what do you guys think? You got anything on that pre-tape?
Pre-tape Holloway, but that's always a pre-tape lean. Is Holloway.
Yeah,
he's so hard to bet against, man. His volume is crazy at the weight class.
The only person I'm going to bet Holloway against is Volkanovski. So
right.
Yeah, I think we got lucky when I bet Holloway and thought I was getting that easy win against Yair. Now that you look at it, Yair was in that fight. He was tearing up Max's legs. Just Max is so tough.
That was scary. Dude. That was a scary fight to have money on Holloway.
It really was. Even going into the 5th, you're like, I think Max is winning because it's Max, right? But it's like
Max had to start wrestling.
He did turn Max into a wrestler. That's why, dude. That's why I picked. I was all over Yair on that last one. Sophie says she fucks with you, Patty.
Fuck with you too. Thank you,
Patty the baddie. Saba, I follow a lot of cappers, and Patrick is probably the most underrated one that I know. Plus sharp bets, delivering stacks for sure.
There you go.
Tyler, 138 MMA. Heck yeah, fellas. Thanks for the shout out. Patrick is my rabbit. I'm just chasing you as we both fly past 1K subs. You guys are both good. You both deserve it.
Yeah, we got to do a show together, my guy.
Yo, that was fun when we had him on the other one. When we did had him on the thing. All right. Man, I got these might be out of. Oh, well, here, we'll do this one real quick. Steve Garcia versus Shailin Norden Becky. I'm going to start this one. I like Steve Garcia.
How much time we got?
Yeah, I like Steve Garcia. I bet Steve Garcia. I like his 4 inches of height, 4 inches of reach. I like his striking. I like his straight left right down the pipe. Most of all, though, is he has good wrestling and he has good jiu-jitsu. Like, he's not D1, but Shailin's not D1 either. And I think that he's going to be able to stop the wrestling, stop the jiu-jitsu. I think he actually is going to have better jiu-jitsu than Shailin, shown by Shailin's been submitted 6 times. And if you watch Steve Garcia versus Luis Pena, man, he put him in a sick triangle choke in the 3rd round, almost had him out of there. Super tough, good cardio. And I don't think Shailin's going to be able to wrestle him and hold him down. I'll be honest, man. And then the striking, I think that Steve Garcia can finish him. I know everybody talks about Steve Garcia's durability, but he's been finished one time. That was by that nice punch by Mearshart, which Mearshart's huge, dude. I just rewatched Mearshart and Rafa Garcia, and that dude's huge, man. But at 145, Garcia is pretty durable. Looks pretty good. But yeah, man, he's been finished twice, once by submission and one time by knockout. But Norden Becky's been finished 8 times in his career. And by low-level guys, dude. We're talking dudes with losing records. So give me Steve Garcia here. I don't think he's as bad. And I got him at plus 180. You know, I just don't think Shailin Norden Becky should be plus or minus 200 something over anybody other than a hurt Derek Minner. So give me Steve Garcia. Size, reach, all that. I like it, man. Johnny, who you got?
Well, I am going to say Norden Becky wins this one. I have no bets on this fight. I just want to let you guys know this right off the bat. But this is a weird fight to me. It's more of like a 50-50 fight. I don't like the odds whatsoever. But I really think Norden Becky is going to get this done. And the reason why is Garcia likes to be a little too aggressive at times. And that's going to leave him open to some takedowns and maybe even a overhand right that's going to put him down and get him all wobbly. And that's going to be it. But if this fight does stay on the feet and Garcia stays at range, I think he's going to be able to pick him apart and probably win a decision. But I just don't trust him enough to do that, which is why I'm not picking him. I don't think Norden Becky's the greatest fighter in the world either, but I think he has the tools, if you want to say, to beat Garcia, and that's wrestling and power in his hands. So give me Norden Becky. I'm no bets whatsoever. I don't even know if this fight's going to go over, under, submission, knockout. So I'll say by decision, and this is just a weird fight to me. Dog or pass?
Okay. All right. You're wrong. But Patty, you're next.
I mean, just to recap your guys' live stream on Thursday, that is a reminder as why you guys have one of the most entertaining live streams of the week. I sat in my car laughing at you guys for like a half an hour.
I was being civil this time.
Yeah. They go back and forth. Johnny just disagrees with everything Cody says, and then at the end says, well, dog or pass.
Dog or pass. I'm with you. I'm just not fully with you. I'm like, wait.
Out of the 13 fights, picking Shailin to win is my least confident pick, but that's where I'm going. Stylistically, I think he can get it done with the wrestling, but he's so low volume on the feet, man. Like he barely throws anything. Over 3-round fights, he's racking up like 30, 40 significant strikes. Steve Garcia is the better striker. They both like to get into firefights, so I think Garcia could end this early, like a lot of people are saying, but his durability is not that good either, so he could get knocked out in a firefight. But if Shailin wants to get the takedowns early and often, I think he can grind out a decision here. But if he gets those takedowns late, Steve Garcia is going to rack up more striking on the feet and probably win that decision. So super dicey fight, man. So I don't blame Cody for being on the dog here. But stylistically, you know, guys like Joe Warren, guys like Ricky Tercios, rest of their grapplers give Steve Garcia a lot of issues. So go with Shailin.
Got you. Doc, who you got?
So I kind of I changed my pick over the last few days. I like Garcia. I like him to get the finish as well. You know, he cashed as a big dog against Chase Hooper, but that's more of a comment on Hooper's durability than anything else. But still, I want to say he was like plus 330 or something in that fight and got it done. So there's definitely more value on the Garcia side. However, one of my guys at the weigh-in made an interesting comment to me. I don't know if it's true or not. but I don't know if you guys saw the weigh-ins, but Garcia had a little bit of a boo-boo. Yeah.
Yeah.
So he was sort of speculating that it looked like staph to him, maybe something that was resolving. But either way, I mean, if he's been on antibiotics, if he's had issues with training, it could affect the gas tank a little bit. So I already got my initial bets in, but if I'm putting bets in today, I'm probably leaning towards the other way by decision. Just because if Garcia can't get it done early, I don't know if he can get a late finish in this fight. So that's how you answer that without actually picking a winner. Yeah.
Yep. So all three.
I'm going to say you're on Garcia, though.
Yeah. I will say I have action on Garcia, and I have action
go.
on Garcia by TKO.
Smart,
but that doesn't always coincide with my brains. You know?
Right. Yeah. It should be a good fight. I just don't think Norton Becky's good. Like watching him, I don't think he's that good. If you watch him fight Kulabu, or I can never say his name, Kulabau. He just did not look good to me. Like he tried takedowns for the first 3 minutes, couldn't get it, held him up against cage, couldn't get him, and then after that he did a low output striking.
He looked pretty good in that Minner fight, though.
Excellent, to world class. I think that's why he's minus 250, because they're like, dude, this dude's a smashing machine. He's the new Mark Kerr.
Gotta give credit where credit's due, Cody.
Yeah, he got some city miles on him, though. I think the durability is an issue too there. That's why I kind of gave an edge to Garcia initially as well. So we'll see what happens. If I didn't see the weigh-in, I'm Garcia all day. Mostly from a value standpoint, because I don't have any sort of confidence picking Shiloh minus 240 or 220 wherever he's at today.
Yep. Ice Viking said I was at laughing at the debate on Thursday too, and I was at work with the sneaky earbud under my hoodie. He said got some strange looks from my coworkers. Yeah, we was getting it in, man. But it was fun. We'll see. It's always got to get the Joey Diaz rants out, man. I love it. Sophie said Kulabau is good, though. I don't know. I don't think Steve Garcia is that bad. 10 knockouts, too. Norton Becky, if you go look back through he's got 10 losses, and he's young. He just fought a whole bunch, but he was losing and barely beating, like, low-level dudes in China. Like, low-level. Yeah. Low. He got knocked out by Zhu Rong, man. Zhu Rong is terrible.
Doesn't China have good wrestling, Cody?
The opposite. The opposite of good wrestling, which is not American wrestling, that's for sure. But I just can't do it. All right, next fight is going. Actually, here, let me go up to these ones real quick. Get through these girl ones real quick. Next fight, we'll do Michelle Waterson and Luana Panero. I started last one. Johnny, you can start this one.
I am on the dog here, and I'm going to go with Waterson. I think she's going to throw more volume on the feet. I actually like her striking a little bit better. Another, like, a little red flag for me with Luana is she hasn't fought in a while, and I guess I don't know exactly the injury. I don't know if it's a knee or a leg or something, but it's a pretty decent injury, so it's a little scary. But in her last couple fights, and I watched the tape back, like, she beat Sam Hughes, and she did a very good acting job against Ronda Marcos. So there's not a lot to go from there, and she has talent, but I mean, she should be dominating those girls, and she didn't. So she won by decision against Sam Hughes. So I think Waterson's experience, she's fought the better competition. I know she's lost a lot of those fights when she did go the step up, but she has the experience. So I think she'll just keep it on the feet and win a very close decision, probably a split decision. So I got no bets on this fight whatsoever, but I'm going to go with the dog here.
I like it. I like that. Patrick, who do you got?
Yeah, same side, man. Taking the dog with Waterson here. 37 years old at this weight class doesn't really spark my interest to bet it. That was one of the main things skipping me off, because I think that we could see probably either the finished product of Gomez, Waterson Gomez, who we've seen go on an Invicta title run, have 12 fights in the UFC, but this is her first step down in competition in many years, and she still has very good distance striking, a 5-round cardio pace. And that's something we've seen be the issue of Panero, right? Having that even a 3-round cardio pace, not something she can always keep up with those judo throws. So, and who's the last person that's really like dominated Michelle Waterson that way, like on the ground? It's been high-level girls, So we're gonna see where Panero falls. What do you guys think about her being blonde for this fight now? She's got like giant flowing blonde hair now at the face-offs.
I like it.
Think that plays any difference in this fight? Is that like a renewed confidence? Is that like, are we going to see a different game plan now that she's changing up her hair a little bit?
Yeah, I think she's gonna win now.
Flying knees, She comes with flying knees, Muay Thai stance and shit.
A fight that I think could be line 50-50. Give me the dog, but I'm not playing it.
I like it, man. I like it. Doc, who do you got?
I got Waterson by decision. And this one kept getting reinforced as it got closer to fight time. It started as a hunch, and then I really started to kind of get into the history a little bit. I mean, Waterson has not had a finish since 2016. So if you think she's winning, taking her by decision has a little juice to it. Yeah. And another thing too, that no one's touched on yet. I mean, I always look at pedigree teams, representation, who these people are surrounding themselves with, and look how good Holly Holm looked just 2 weeks ago. So I'm expecting a similar style. I think if she mixes in the wrestling just a little bit, I think that'll help her. She's obviously got to mind her P's and Q's with regard to submissions, but I think she's got enough experience not to get caught in anything silly. So I think it's going to look like a point fight, like a typical karate fight. Nothing particularly dangerous. That'll be I think a comfortable decision. I wouldn't be surprised if we see it 30-27
for Waterson.
For Waterson, yeah.
It's crazy. I'm on Waterson too. That's all 4 of us are on her as a dog. That's wild.
I love it.
Mm-hmm.
That's wild. Same thing you guys are saying, man. Panero, she seems like she needs to use her judo and her BJJ to win, and I don't think that's going to work here. Even if she gets Michelle Waterson down, Michelle Waterson's going to get back up. I gotta favor Waterson striking as long as she doesn't get caught, because Panero does throw heat, man. That's how she beat Sam Hughes. She won the first round with some takedowns and stuff. Second round, she was kind of losing, and then she landed a big shot at the end, dropped Hughes, and then the third round, she kind of got beat by Hughes a little bit. So I'm not impressed with her. She's not fought anywhere near the level of Waterson. Now, granted, Waterson's 37 years old. It's not the same Waterson that we had a couple years ago, but what she showed against Lemos looks like she still has enough for a Panero. So give me Waterson, man. And just like Doc said, perfect bet, man. That's why we do this show. That Waterson by decision, that seems like the money bet. If you're going to bet her, she ain't finishing Panero. So I like that. I like that bet. Let's see. We got Lou Betchu in the house, man. Lou Betcha, what you doing?
What up,
How you
Lou?
doing? Appreciate you coming out, hanging out. Everybody check him out on the MMA Engine. They run that show with Brady, Wheezy. They do a bunch of great shows throughout the week, probability, all different kinds. And then he's also on Twitter, and he's got one of the funniest Twitter accounts there are. And can't wait to do another show with him. He's a funny dude. So appreciate you coming out, Lou Betcha. Shane laughing. Jason Ward, Waterson Wash, bet the house against. Mushroom's on Waterson too. Okay, Glenbot, Mushroom. I wish I could get those lines. Yeah, let's go, Lou. Waterson Gomez decision. Okay. I like that, Saba. Luana had a torn LCA a year ago, 3 months rehab, no surgery, was looking for a fight in the fourth quarter of 2022. Okay, that's good information, Pink Floyd. Good information. So she's definitely good to go now. It's Dogger Pass because of strength of schedule. I think do not go. Decision is a good play. Does not go. Does not go to distance. Oh, wow. That's got to be plus like maybe. Wouldn't that be plus like 400 or something?
That'd be crazy.
Yeah. Or some plus 300. All right. Lou Betcha. What's up, Lou? Jenna said Lou. Derek, my boy, Derek Izzy. If Saba and the doc both agree, I got to bet it. Makes sense. Derek's got the good algorithms too, man. Fight ending and stuff. So everybody check out Derek Izzy on Instagram. He posts his fight algorithm for fights finishing and then predictions on who's going to win the fights. So check them out, and he puts them on my Discord too. Also, it's in the link, my Layer Cake Discord. It's free to join. Links in the description. Go join it. We talk. We'll be on there tonight for the main event. Have a little chat and everything. Everybody be talking. So it's a good time. Effie said, just want to see judo throw. That's all I'm asking for. Oh, you're going to see one or two. Panero's, she does that whizzer kick judo throw, dude. She hits every girl with it once or twice, but then her cardio starts going. Next fight, Cynthia Calvillo versus Lupita Godinez. Patty, I'll let you start this one.
It's a loopy spot here, but this is a potentially a close fight just because we haven't seen like skill for skill when she was at her best in the 115. Calvillo was really good. I think she went like 6-1-1 at strawweight, but now I was surprised she made weight. Did anything seem off to you guys at the weigh-ins for her when she made there? I didn't see the actual weigh-in.
She looked good.
She looked
phenomenal.
Okay. Yeah, if she returns to form, I think she's got the far better striking, like a comprehensive striking game over 3 rounds. Loopy can be one at a time, and Loopy can throw a lot of looping strikes and be like one at a time with big overhands and hooks. It might be effective, but it might not be. And who's the last person that's dominated Calvillo on the mat? Like, there's not been many people, So we're going to see really how good Loopy is. Just because of the momentum difference, the youth difference, I'll take her to win. But man, this could be a close fight, So give me Loopy Godinez. Not a lot of conviction. No bets on this one.
Okay. Doc, who you got?
Yeah, so this is another one. I think it's a lot closer than it looks on paper. I like Loopy Godinez here, but don't forget she has lost as a pretty sizable favorite. I'm thinking of the Angela Hill fight. But I think that was a little different than this. I think Angela beat her at her own game, just with speed and that sort of point fighting style. And I think that's what Godinez does well and needs to do if she's going to win, just stay busy with a lot of movement. That being said, I think Cynthia has a lot of power, especially a lot of power early. So if she can hurt Loopy in that first round, it might it might change things pretty drastically. But from what I saw, I believe she had a pretty hard time making weight. I think she had to come back to the scale because she didn't get there on her first attempt. So that could affect the gas tank. So I think even if Calvillo wins the first round, I think Godinez can come back and win rounds 2 and 3 just with speed and pressure. So I like Godinez. I like Godinez by decision. If she loses the first round, I might actually be looking at a live bet too, just to get some better odds. But there's definitely risk in this fight because you can't go by Calvillo's record. Because I think she is dangerous, especially down a weight class. You got to figure she's going to have some extra power coming down with her too. So the official pick, Godinez by decision.
Yeah, man. I picked Godinez by decision in my breakdown, but seeing Cynthia Calvillo make weight and look good, like she's in the best shape, I actually am switching my pick. I'm going to take Calvillo. The reason being is, like Patrick said, man, I think she has better striking, and I think she's going to have better grappling. At 115, Calvillo's grappling is tough, dude. And I mean, yeah, she's got some losses up at 125. But them were to good girls, phenomenal girls, Andrade, Caitlin Chukagian, people like that, right? So I think that this is like a step down in competition. I mean, we've seen what Angela Hill is usually going to split decisions with girls and this and that, like every girl she fights, and she clearly won that fight against Lupita Godinez. Godinez needs to really use that wrestling. Her striking's okay, but she needs to use that wrestling and grappling. That's her strength. And Calvillo is actually bigger. Cynthia Calvillo is 2 inches taller with 3 inches of reach. I don't think Loopy's coming out here manhandling Calvillo. That's her bread and butter, is grappling. Like her bread and butter. Like when she was at 115 and she was beating top girls in the division, she was out grappling them. Like, and I just don't think Loopy's on that same level, man. But the 35 years of age, and Cynthia did quit on the stool against Andrea Lee. She looked better against Nina Nunes, though. The split decision with Nina Nunes, coming back after having a kid and all that. But Nina Nunes is tough, too. I'm not as impressed with Loopy as everybody else is, because, like, Ariane Carnelosi's the one that made her look like a savage, and I don't think she's very good either. So, yeah, I'm going to go with Cynthia Calvillo. I think she's bigger and she's going to be better in almost everywhere. I don't really see where Loopy beats her in this fight. So give me Calvillo. And not only that, but Calvillo, like the last two times she tried to make strawweight, she couldn't make strawweight. So obviously she got her mind right and got into a better space in life to actually make it down to strawweight and make the weight. So no bets or nothing, but give me Calvillo. Johnny, what do you got?
So if I didn't watch the Loopy Godinez fight against Angela Hill, I would be like all over Godinez right now, like just betting her money line, putting her in like 3 or 4 parlays. But I saw that fight and it's leaving a very bad taste in my mouth. I'm still picking her to win because she should win this fight, but I'm not very confident enough to even think about doing a bet. I do have fight to start round 3, but Other than that, I think this fight will be closer than I think. And I was kind of, I don't want to say banking on Cynthia to miss weight. I thought she was going to or have trouble, but she looked very good, which makes me even more concerned with the Godina's pick. I'm still going to pick her. I'm not going to change my pick. I think she's going to be a little bit stronger, maybe in the clinch and the takedowns. But like Cody said, she's a really good grappler, so she knows how to hold her own when if she gets taken down or get stuff to take down. So other than that, though, this is a very, very, very close fight. So I'm just going to stick with my initial pick. I think it's going to be Godinez by decision. Might be a split decision too. So it's one of those where it's dog or pass, you know?
Right. See, and I'll add this into Cynthia Calvillo's last win was against Jessica Ai, and she out-grappled her for 5 rounds. And Jessica Ai is good grappling. Like, she's a good grappler. She's got good takedown defense and good wrestling. So it's going to be a good one. It's going to be a good one. So, but nobody has no bets on that fight, right?
Just fight to start round 3.
Yeah, I have it going to decision either side.
Okay. Yeah, and I like any of them time props going over. I don't see this fight finishing.
Which for all you guys, which pick are you more confident in, this fight or the other women's strawweight that we talked about with Panero and Waterson?
I'm more confident in Waterson, to be honest.
Yeah, same.
Probably Waterson. Yeah.
How about you, Doc?
Yeah, she's got the better resume. She's gotten it done before. Whereas, you know, I think this is more of a play against Calvillo, you know, that rather than people being really hyped.
Who would you guys take, Panero or Godinez? That's a good fight.
Maybe Panero. Maybe Panero for me.
Like, because she hits pretty hard. Like, and then she's got the judo to keep it like.
Just the pace of the fight.
Luana or Godinez?
Now, Godinez would have the cardio for sure.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The pacing of the fight, I'd pick Godinez. I feel like she could employ that game plan. But yeah, I mean, that's why I asked the question, because this is like 2 very similar strawweight fights where you got the dynamic of young versus old, unproven versus proven. You know, it's kind of an interesting dynamic.
Yep. She was the last to weigh in, but made weight. First time for Cynthia. Yeah, man, I haven't seen her make 115 for a long time.
Wow.
Saba said, crazy how Lupi dominated Ariane Carnelosi. Good bet, Cody. This motherfucker. And then this dude remember. I think he writes down every bet I made.
He remembers every bad bet that you do and me. So
Jesus, Saba. Jesus. But you're right. I did, but I got Carnelosi at plus 185, and she should have been plus 1400. So I did not beat line movement on that whatsoever.
She looked like plus 1400 though.
Yeah, she was. She fully fought like plus 2000. I mean, I can't blame her. You know.
And to kind of go towards your point, Cody, with picking Calvillo in this fight, even though we all accused her of quitting on the stool, which she technically did, she did break her orbital bone in that fight against Andrea Lee. Yeah. So there was a reason her face was like getting broken apart, which
big.
That happens in a lot of fights, but you know, it was her. She did ultimately quit, but it was like there was a reason behind it.
You guys know what Lee and them would do to Lupi Godinez? We seen what Luana Carolina, lowest bottom of the barrel, 125, did to her. Now, if she went up and fought Andrade or Chukagian or any of the girls that Calvillo's lost to, she's taking a beating. She's taking a thorough beating.
But Luana was way bigger.
Yeah, but she's terrible. You know what I mean? So it's like it kind of like offsets of.
Well, like, you have a little bit of advantage there. I'm not debating the terrible part.
Yeah, 7 days notice, but she was huge.
And short notice. It's like, come on, Cody. Don't do her like that.
Carolina's not good though. You should beat her on 7 days. Like if you're a real like Angela Hill might be able to.
There was like an 8-inch height advantage and like an 8-inch reach advantage.
Hey, Cody's just not. He's like, yeah. So,
Carolina, you got to beat Carolina.
That's
even
like
up away.
That's like Merab trying to fight Islam.
That's
come on.
That's not
even.
Like that.
That's like that video of Merab.
Yeah, it is.
That giant female kickboxer. You ever see
that? Okay.
How about that?
Trying to fight like
it's like Merab trying to fight Steve Garcia. Okay.
Exactly. Which Merab throws a fucking beating on him. Look at Johnny's cat in the background. I didn't see that.
Hey, get that cat out of here. That's bad luck.
Just chilling.
The prelims are starting now, you son of a bitch. Get that cat out of here. Yeah. Cat's killing my parlays.
Jesus,
he won't leave. He won't leave. I tried.
He's looking right at my soul. Dude. He's looking at my bed.
Chilling. He is. That's Jesus. That's pretty cool. All right, man. Next fight, Kevin Gastelum and Chris Curtis.
Oh boy.
Doc, I'm gonna let you start this one.
Yeah, this is a tough one. This is one of those like really polarizing ones. I think like my gut says there's more value on the Chris Curtis side, even though, with the exception of those little 10-second clips where he's knocked someone out, he hasn't been looking great in these fights. So it's the only question I have is Gastelum getting back to his old form. I was shocked to see that he's only 31 years old. He seems like the older, more seasoned guy, another one with some city miles on him. And it's like so much punishment over the last few fights. It's like, can he really get back to his old ways? Because I think on paper, if he can perform, this should be an easy win for Gastelum. Take him down, hold him, lots of pressure. But we've seen that happen to Curtis before, and he just kind of finds a way to touch the chin and get it done. So I hate picking this one. I think if you're leaning towards Gastelum, it could go to decision. I think if you're leaning towards Curtis, he's probably going to have to get a finish, which just doesn't happen to Gastelum. So if he's not going to finish him, what do you think is going to happen? So
Logic,
if I'm doing that MMA math, you got to lean just a little tiny bit toward Gastelum here. But this is like the ultimate coin flip, I think.
I like it. I like that logical thing. You just got to, if you take 1 and 1 and you get them up to 2, you can win some money. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's the move, right?
Yeah. So I like that. Patty, who you got?
Yeah, I'm following Doc's logic here, man. I think it's a close fight. I think Curtis does have that ability to finish a fight most of the time, usually losing until he does. But what happens is you get a durable guy like Gastelum. I mean, we saw that kind of play out against Hermanson. He got a little bit frustrated down the stretch. And once that fight got further and further out of Curtis's grasp, he couldn't get it done. I think it could happen here, man. I mean, if we see some wrestling from Gastelum, which would be great, that could be a big difference maker in this fight. But what I have is the fight going to decision at -190. I put 1.5 units on that, and then I do have the fight. I have I've got the fight goes to split, a quarter unit at +450, and then of course both guys winning by split, +700 for Gastelum, +1,000 for Curtis by split, 0.1 units apiece. So
nice,
making that play. I was able to cash on that dynamic last time with Parsons and Giles, played out exactly that way. So this is the close fight of the week. And that's how I'm playing it. Just making sure it's close, making sure it goes the distance. Both guys durable. But I lean Gastelum. I do lean Gastelum.
Okay. Johnny, who you got?
Well, I'm going to say this is a 50-50 fight. Like everyone said, I think this is very close. I think the value is on whoever you got at plus money, whether it's Gastelum or Chris Curtis. But I'm going to go with Chris Curtis. I can't get behind Kelvin for some reason. I don't know why. I tried. I don't think he's going to be able to get takedowns. I think he might get rocked at least maybe once or twice in this fight because Chris Curtis seems to, that's what happens. He's just waits to that one perfect counter and he'll land clean and then maybe Kelvin will drop. I'm not saying he's going to get knocked out, but he might get knocked down. And I think throughout the fight, Curtis is going to land the cleaner strikes, maybe not get the most significant strikes, but I think he'll get the cleaner strikes. And I can see maybe a 3rd round finish or decision. It might even be a split decision. I think this is a very close fight. I love the overs in this fight, though. I do think it's going to go to decision, but I'm going to go with Curtis squeaking it out, stuffing the takedowns, making this a boxing fight, and landing the cleaner shots.
All right. Yeah, man. I'm on Calvin. Got him at +135. I know the line's like -145 now. Pretty happy about that. I made a $200 bet and I beat $160 in line movement. I got Calvin, man. I think Calvin's boxing is just as good, if not better, than Chris Curtis. I think Chris Curtis is looking inflated just because of like the level of competition he's fighting. Because if he was fighting Calvin's competition, he would have the same record as Calvin, if not way worse. Like Chris Curtis really gives me them Cheeto Vera vibes, man, where he's losing almost every single fight until he comes back and gets that knockout win. You know what I mean? Because he's low output and he lets people tee off on him, and he waits for a really good counter shot and then he cracks him with that counter shot. But the thing is if you start doing that with Calvin's hard to get out of there, dude. I mean, impossible to get out of there unless you got a good heel hook. So I just think Calvin's got just as good, if not better, boxing. If you go watch Calvin, like people say he's washed, if you go watch him fight Cannonier, he looked good against Cannonier, won a couple rounds against Cannonier, and Cannonier is a savage. Calvin's back. He's out. He's training at Fight Ready. He's going back and forth between Fight Ready and King's MMA, but he's been out there with Henry Cejudo a lot for this camp, and I really like that because he's going to come in with the great game plan. Chris Curtis, if you watch his fights, what's he do when people start throwing boxing back at him? Puts that high ass guard up there. And when he does that, I'm expecting. Matter of fact, I watched a little video right when Merab was fighting Piotr Jan, and Henry Cejudo put up a video and showed that when Piotr Jan, because that's what he does, he puts up the real high guard and lets it, blocks everything. He said when he does that, that's when Merab's going to be able to duck underneath. If he's been watching tape, then he'll know to duck underneath right there. That's when he's going to get his takedowns, and that's exactly what Chris Curtis does. Puts the high guard up there, covers his face, and hopefully that's what Gastelum's going to do. Gastelum took Cannonier down. I watched him take Cannonier down in the first round. They must not have counted it as a takedown. It was right at the end of the round, but then he took down Robert Whittaker. And if you can take down Robert Whittaker, you can take down Chris Curtis. I know Chris Curtis has stopped all the takedowns in the UFC, but what good wrestler has he really fought that's fully tried to take him down? So yeah, man, give me Calvin Gastelum. Like I said, plus 135. Now, when he gets to minus 150, I'm not liking them lines. You know what I mean? This is close to a 50-50 fight. I'm not thinking Calvin's going to come out here and dust Chris Curtis, but I do think that he's got more volume. He's got good boxing, decent leg kicks, and I just think that he's a better fighter all around, especially with the wrestling. He's got the better experience than Chris Curtis. I've never been impressed with Chris Curtis, to be honest. Like, losing every fight till he lands that big shot. But what happens when that big shot don't come? Then you're looking at Cheeto Vera again. So let's see. Calvin, let's see. Curtis decision. Okay, hold on. All right. Yeah, Cop Heavy Pick said the cat got to go.
Right.
I'm 138 MMAs on Chris Curtis. Looks like the cat is resting on Johnny's shoulder. Yeah. Calvin, because of strength of schedule. I like that, Bunny Hunter. Saba, the cat's name is probably Charlie Olives.
It's not.
Saba's on Curtis decision. Johnny brought the cat out to jinx Cody. This mofo better not.
Well, we'll find out if it works.
The old black cat trick. The old black cat trick, man. You ain't getting me with that one again. Now Patrick's gonna have new video thing, new pictures for the screenshots.
I just took
Son of a
Calvin is the type of guy that relies on talent and not work. I can't pick him either. He looked good. He made weight easy. Spot on comparison to Cheeto. Thank you, MPTV. Ice Viking, I jumped on Calvin at plus 135 too. He looks pretty soft in the midsection, to be honest, though. He's pretty soft.
That's true. Curtis does work the body as well. So
he does. I'm not gonna lie.
It'd be something to think about.
Has a higher strength of schedule wins tonight because I just love being right about the fact that it's the fact more times than not. It is. I mean, that experience is nice. Frisky. Special Ed said Frisky. I used to have a cat. Our cat.
But there comes a point to where talent will overexceed experience. Just depends on the fighter, I guess. If you want to say.
But that's the thing is like Gastelum's more talented than Curtis too.
Well, I'm not talking about this fight. I'm just saying in general, like. There is a time where talent's going to be way more like this fight. Chris Curtis, his talent's way better
than the experience.
Yeah,
but he doesn't have either. So
it's like Shaolin,
Brooklyn Lou, the skeptic. Calvin's inactivity is bothersome. I have a feeling his best days may be over. Hope not. Curtis is one that's 35, but Calvin has been inactive. Curtis to sit mushrooms on Curtis. Ice Viking. Calvin, the type of guy to wear a shirt in the pool. He don't want to work. I think that's just his build. I don't think he could have abs if he wanted to. I got Kurt on this. Shane's got Kurt. I want to bet it was too risky. I heard an interview. Curtis said he was going to win. So
boom.
Curtis said he's going to win.
It.
Curtis about to get subbed by freaking Raul Rosas Jr., bro. I don't know.
He's going to get subbed by Dev the Dude, MMA Jesus.
I know. Him and Dev's supposed to be throwing hands in the parking lot. He better not be wearing no FaceMeetFist.
I did see that Dev switched his pick to Chris Curtis, so.
No, he didn't, did he? I was going to say, I'm going to tell him if he fights Chris Curtis, he's got to wear this FaceMeetFist shirt. I'm sending him.
I would probably go to Las Vegas to see Dev versus Chris Curtis. Like,
I would drop
wherever they're at.
I would skip any plans. I would
go to Dev's backyard to watch.
I would
that.
cancel.
Next Vegas, I would drive to Kansas City.
If
I'd have to,
was
we'd have
having
to
a
wear,
baby
I'd have
that
to wear a
day, I
raincoat
would
though,
go
cage
there
side.
still.
Have to wear a poncho cage side for all of Curtis's blood and make sure it
Yeah.
doesn't get over.
What
me
if
when
Dev,
beats the
Dev
shit
comes
of him.
out with that Mastodon flying knee and just gets Curtis, and we're like, "What the fuck?" Dev's just like, "I fucking told you." I'm like,
Dev's smoking
I
a
just get in
backwood
my
the whole
car
time.
and drive away. I'm like, "What the?"
It would
fuck
make
just happened?"
it would make the trip even better if that happened. I'm telling you, like it's just a win-win.
I'm like, Jesus, Dev. I'm like, my bad forever. Anything I ever said wrong,
I wouldn't fuck
never,
with Dev.
You're the man. What's the Patreon? All right, man. Ignacio Bahamondes versus Trey Ogden. Johnny, let you start this one.
You say me? Sorry.
Yeah. What?
Okay, yeah, I like Bahamondes here a lot. I think he's the better version of Manel Torres when Trey Ogden was supposed to fight a few weeks ago. He's got sneaky grappling. He's going to be bigger than Trey, have a bigger reach as well, and I like his striking too. So Trey Ogden's never been knocked out, but he's been submitted, and I think Bahamondes can get a submission here. It's a sneaky little long shot parlay. It's like plus 700 for that. So I think he gets it done by decision, though, I'm going to say, but it wouldn't shock me if it gets like a club and sub or something crazy where maybe Ogden shoots a really lazy takedown later in the fight when he's a little bit tired, because he is taking this fight on short notice, and he just wraps up that neck and gets a finish. But I'm big on Bahamondes here. Other than maybe a fight that we haven't talked about yet, I think this is one of the safest, I don't want to say the L word, fights to pick here. So give me Bahamondes by decision.
Okay. All right, Patty, who do you got?
Dude, Johnny basically broke that down the way that I would have broken it down myself. I
It's a
got
good
Bahamondes
breakdown.
as one of my most confident picks of the entire card. I didn't find a way to play him, unfortunately. Just the money line is pretty wide. Like, I don't see a lot of extra value. I think he wins about, it's like a minus 365 favorite. I think he wins about that many times out of 100, right? Like,
yeah,
that would imply like almost 80% odds there. But I like the submission prop I like. And I think I saw somebody earlier in the chat at the beginning of the show took the submission parlayed with something else. I love that.
Yeah.
I think just like Johnny said, I think he's going to set it up with the striking, and then Trey Ogden's going to shoot like a sloppy takedown just out of instinct and get his neck snatched up the way that Ju Rong did. So I love Bahamondes a lot. I'm very impressed with him. I think he wins inside the distance.
Okay.
Ogden's been submitted a few times too. I want to say like 3 or 4 times. So
usually from that kind of dynamic too, where he shoots in and gets his neck
Two
snatched
by
up.
Thomas Gifford, who is top 5 worst fighters to ever fight in the UFC. Should have. I mean, he came in the UFC and took nothing but beatings. But Trey Ogden's not that bad. But he did lose to that dude twice, which is crazy. But GM3 lost to Jay Ellis. How did GM3 lose to Jay Ellis? Jay Ellis is what, 11 and 120, and somehow he's like a 155er, and he beat GM3.
I might have been there for that fight.
Really?
That was a long time ago. I was at a lot of GM3. He's from my area. Like, I know him personally, and I was at a lot of his fights back in like 2008, 2010.
Nice. Doc, who you got in this one?
So I kind of like Ogden, mostly from a value standpoint, because I don't think you can comfortably go the other way unless you're building a parlay around it. But I kind of think the risk is too high. I don't think I want to anchor any parlays with this fight. Actually, the only play that I have is that it'll end by submission. So it's funny that you guys said the same thing. Could go either way. I think I got it at plus 300. Because I think that's how it's going to go. I'm either thinking Ogden by sub or Ignacio by sub. So give me a little double action on this one.
I like that. Both of them do can get the sub and can be sub, because Trey Ogden's got good subs. He almost guillotined Jordan Levitt, and if Jordan Levitt wasn't so good at jiu-jitsu and just knowing how to get out of stuff and survive, he was in a deep guillotine, man.
Jordan Levitt's a mythical fighter.
And he is. And that's what I'm saying. If you can do that to a unicorn, I mean, you can do it to Ignacio Bahamondes, right?
Unicorn.
He almost did it to a unicorn. Damn near. But Ignacio Bahamondes, I was on Trey Ogden versus Torres too. That was a little different. I expected Torres to gas out in that because he goes so hard in the first round, with Trey Ogden never being KO'd in his career. I thought he was going to survive all that. He's got good movement. It's kind of scary because like Zell Huber isn't that bad. And I just rewatched that fight for Zell Huber coming up too. So I watched it twice. I watched it for Trey Ogden, and then Zell Huber's fighting next week. So I watched it again. And I mean, Zell Huber did try to fight. Like he was low output, but the stuff he was doing wasn't working with Trey Ogden. So that keeps me away from betting Bahamondes, because I am on Bahamondes. I'm really high on this kid. But I couldn't find nowhere to bet it either, just like Patrick said, because it's like I can see this ending, and then I can also see it going to the decision because Ogden's never been knocked out. And if this don't go to the ground, I can see it just being, like a Bahamondes winning with bigger shots and more volume. But yeah, man, I'm gonna take Bahamondes. I'm gonna say by decision, just because I don't see him knocking out Trey Ogden, but he could also club and sub Trey Ogden, or if he does end up knocking Trey Ogden down, he goes into his guard. I can see Ogden subbing him. So there's so much going on that I just stayed away, but I don't mind any bets on this card. I think the line's off. I don't think Ogden's as bad as we think. You know what I mean? I really don't, but I'm higher on Bahamondes. So give me Bahamondes. Give me him by decision. Now let's get into
Zell Huber. Do you think Zell Huber is better than Bahamondes, or vice versa?
I think that if them dudes fought, it would be a great. I don't think, dude, if you can watch Zell Huber fight, I just watched it. Lucas Almeida, like he's a beast, dude. Lucas Almeida was hitting him with giant shots, and he fucking bit down on his mouthpiece and hit him with bigger shots back. Had a little wrestling in that fight. Zell Huber's really good. I don't know if he didn't show up as much as like Trey Ogden wouldn't let him get his striking style going.
I think it was like, UFC debut jitters because he just didn't throw his hands at all. And look at Ogden's debut against Levitt. He didn't do anything. So Bahamondes has been fighting.
This fight, I think this fight looks. Bahamondes will look like what I thought Zell Huber would look like against Trey Ogden.
Yes,
right.
Exactly.
And people are sleeping on Zell Huber against Lando Venado, man. Their line's coming down, and that's Venato's tough, but dude, that Zell Huber dude is tough, man. The kid's tough.
He's really good. He just didn't throw his hands that fight, and on paper he should have won that fight, but it's just his debut, and he just didn't do anything at all. It was weird.
Yeah. Saba's on Bahamondes by decision. Mushrooms on Bahamondes inside the distance. Ice Viking. I'm a small straight bet on Bahamondes sub plus 600. I can't blame it. Bunny Hunter said, I remember James Krause breaking down the game plan they had in Ogden's last fight. No Krause this time equals Ignacio win, man. And another thing is Trey Ogden's cut weight 2 times in 3 weeks. And we've seen who was the last Lingo. Did not go good for him. I know they had a catch weight at 160.
Did good for the first round, but that's it.
Yeah, they had a catch weight at 160 for this fight, but still, that hasn't been looking good. All right, Kevin Holland versus Panzanibio Santiago. I'm going to start this one out. I like Kevin Holland, man. I like Ponzi, but he is just older, slower. I think he's going to pump out that weak double jab thing that he does, sliding across the mat, and I think Kevin Holland's going to take off on him. That 8 inches of reach, and his speed advantage is going to be gigantic in this fight, in my opinion. So give me Kevin Holland first or second round, club and sub like he's been doing, because you see Moreno, he dropped Ponzi twice and then rocked him really bad in the third, had him on just wobbling around before Ponzi was able to get that knockout. And Kevin Holland's better than Moreno. He's going to hit a lot harder. He's going to hit a lot faster, and his cardio isn't going to fade. So give me Kevin Holland, and I do expect him to finish Panzanibio. Johnny, who do you get?
Yeah, I'm on Holland here too. The only little worry is Kevin Holland's head. Where is it at? But he looked pretty focused. He's lost 2 in a row now. So whenever he's on a little losing streak, he seems to get more focused. And I think this is a good spot for him to come back and get the knockout. As you said, Cody, Panzanibio did not look good against Moreno. And we know Moreno is a solid guy, but he realistically on short notice, he shouldn't have looked that good against Panzanibio. And that scares me. And Holland's way better than Moreno, I think, personally. So I think he's going to get the knockout in the second round too, as well. I wouldn't be surprised if it's a club and sub either, but I'm going to say knockout in the second round. I think this is just a good spot for Holland to get right again.
I definitely agree. Patrick, who do you got?
Johnny on the prediction, like the overall end result. I think it's Holland round 2 TKO in my mind. I think he's going to concede and play the outside game, counter when Santiago brawls in and tries to box with him, and just use the long range weapons to pick him apart. But God damn, I can't trust Kevin Holland, man. The guy is just I like betting against him. It's fun to bet against him when there's a good stylistic matchup, like a good wrestler. Easy money with Brunson, easy money with Vettori. But Kevin Holland, man, he burned me last time. It was a bad bet on my part. I bet him against Wonderboy Thompson. But, I mean, when you got a guy like Kevin Holland who can start winning the fight by getting a takedown and then decides to lose the fight, stand back up, like that's just – how can you trust this guy at these odds? You know what I mean? Like you got to find a prop to break the number down a bit. The guy, you just don't know what he's going to do, you know? You have no idea what he's going to do, but he has got all the tools to win the fight. Panzanibio does have, like, grappling and a little bit of a takedown threat, but he never uses it until things are going poorly for him at the end of a fight. So I think it'll be a stand-up war. I think Kevin Holland should win this inside the distance. No bet.
I like it. Doc, who you got?
Yeah, I changed my pick on this yesterday. So I'll tell you my first impression. Kevin Holland is dead to me. Just based on his last fight. And the rumor that I heard was that he got paid low seven figures to fight Khamzat on short notice. So it kind of got me thinking. It's like
seven figures.
Yeah,
damn,
that's what I'm saying. It got me thinking. Yeah. It's like, is he sort of checked out mentally? Because if you recall, he put out tweets that he was retiring after that fight, that he wasn't going to do it anymore, and like
he went to Foot Locker and balled out and spent all that money.
Right? There you go.
That's what I said on our live stream. Like he needs some new sneakers, so he needs to win this and get a fight bonus.
Yeah,
seriously. Well, that's the thing. You got to wonder, like, was that all his motivation going out the window? Because how else can you explain him giving fights away, and not just giving fights away, giving 50% of his purse away? So that was where I was at. This was a guy that can't be trusted. If anything, give a little bit of an edge to Panzanibio, just for that fact, that Kevin Holland might not be in it. So my initial play was that it would end by TKO. This way I was covered on both sides. However, after watching the weigh-ins, Kevin Holland looks locked in. He's not joking around anymore. He's very, very, very serious. And if you look at him squared up, I mean, he looks like he's in the wrong weight class. So I think he's just got too much length. I think he's going to come out aggressive and angry. If I see him smiling in that first round, I'm going to be concerned, but I don't think you will. Yep. I think he's going to come after him. So I like the TKO play, but now I actually have some action on Holland straight to win too. I have him in some parlays as well. So I think this is another one where it's going to look like a mismatch. I think he's going to steamroll him. Hopefully Ponzi survives that first round for you guys, but I wouldn't be surprised if it's a first round TKO as well.
I'm loving it. That's what I need, man. I got Holland with Amore, and I got Holland with Gilberto Burns. So I love that everybody's on Holland. I love that. I don't love that we all think he's dumb, but hopefully, you know what I mean?
Questionable sometimes.
Like I say, you can't lose 3 in a row. You can't be out here messing around losing 3 in a row. No. I mean, he's not going to get cut because he's an exciting fighter, but you lose a lot of your shit when you're talking shit to people and they're like, bro, win a fight and then come, you know what I mean? Like win a fight. So Ponzi doesn't have the wrestler style that usually beats Holland. So I think he should be good. He was hurting Wonder Boy in that first round, cracking him, had some really good shots.
Then he got his hand hurt, and I think that's when it just went downhill. It's unfortunate, but.
And I don't think his hands hurt as bad as he says or anybody thinks. I just think he wanted to get out of that ass whooping a little bit. You know what I mean? He was getting – dude, he literally –
he couldn't do anything.
He literally was standing against the cage, and he was fucking Chris Tucker in Rush Hour, where there's just kicks coming at his head, dude. And he's like, which one of y'all kicked me? That's he was just standing there at the end, just taking giant shots. Like
he sounds like Chris Tucker too.
He does. He's Chris Tucker from Rush Hour. But the thing is like Ponzi ain't going to be able to take the shots that Kevin, like Ponzi's one of them dudes getting a brawl, give one and take one, but he's not going to be able to do that with Holland because Holland's going to be able to take Ponzi's shot, and Holland hits harder than a lot of people Ponzi's been fighting and a lot faster.
And Holland's tough. He's like, he doesn't get knocked out. Like if you're going to beat him, you have to like sub him and wrestle him. Like that's just not Ponzi at all.
No. And he's a lot bigger. Next fight, Raul Rosas Jr. versus Christian Rodriguez, and I will let Doc start this one.
I'm still on that hype train. I'll tell you. So I used to. I used to sponsor these jiu-jitsu tournaments like a while back, not super long ago, but like beginning of pandemic, maybe like 2020. And there was this 16-year-old kid that would win every tournament, just putting an ass whooping on these grown ass adults. 3 guesses who that was.
Raul
Rosas Jr. So I've heard the name for a long time, and I got excited when I saw him coming up through contenders. And it's one of those bets where you got to play the hot hand. You know, someone who has that much belief in themselves. It's like I'm gonna make that play every day of the week until it stops working for me. You know, so plus add to the fact that his opponent did not make weight. You know, you got to wonder about his durability and stuff. I think it's going to be a wild first round, but I think almost like 100% certainty, you know, Rojas is getting that submission one way or the other. I think he's going to survive early. I think there's no way this doesn't end up on the ground, and I just can't see him not getting a finish in this fight. So I'm real heavy on Rojas straight to win. Really like him by submission, and honestly, if it's a wild first round, it might even be first round sub, you know, but definitely getting the finish at some point. And like I said, you know, ask me what my pick is for his next fight too. I bet I could tell you right now what it'll be.
I like it. It's sometimes you find them guys, dude, and like you said, they're phenoms, and you gotta just ride it till it don't. You never know. He might be 32-0, and you've done 22 fights and bets in a row. So that was a good breakdown, man. Patty, well, who do you got in this one?
Glad to know that there's somebody as intelligent as a doctor on my side here, because I'm taking Raul Rosas Jr. as my first money line pick of the night. I did put 2.5 units on him, so pretty heavy at minus 220 on Rosas Jr. And I just don't know when. You know, it could be a decision. It could be, you know, a first round submission. I could see that happening, but there's something to be said about Christian Rodriguez's his ability on the ground to defend as well. The way he defended against Jonathan Pierce, up a weight class. But he gets taken down a lot, 6 times against Jonathan Pierce, twice against Weems on short notice. And I just think that there's something special about the 18-year-old Rosas Jr. I think his strength is very good. I hope he doesn't buy into his own hype too much and expect that he should rise and force a finish. We see that happen a lot with these guys, right? They think, man, I'm the shit now. I'm on a pay-per-view card. I'm 18. Everybody's looking at me. I gotta finish this, make a statement. Then he gasses himself out in round 1 and falls victim to losing the fight down the stretch. Hope that doesn't happen, but it's a possibility. His striking is a big question mark, but I don't think we have to answer that question in this fight. I think he mauls it to the ground, gets a submission. So the money line is where I'm at with it, not getting too cute, but give me Rosas.
You're on mute.
My bad. Johnny, who you get? Good breakdown, Patrick. Sorry. Johnny, who you get?
Yeah, I'm on with the other two. I love Rosas Jr. here, especially after the weight cut. He tried the first time, he was a pound and a half more, and then he tried again, and he only lost a half a pound. So that's even like double bad. You should have just stopped, honestly, because I just don't like that at all. He's smaller than Rosas Jr. in the face-offs. I think Rosas Jr. is going to be stronger. He's going to have the wrestling to take down Carlos Rodriguez. And I don't know if he's gonna get a finish, but after that weight issue, I think he's gonna get the finish now because he's gonna gas himself out eventually. And I'm gonna say second round submission, but the first round will be kind of crazy, like the doctor said. But I think with the relentless pace that Rosas just goes for it, he's not gonna keep this fight on the feet. There's no way. And that's his biggest advantage is going to be in the grappling department, even though Rodriguez does have good grappling defense, if you want to say, and good grappling, but he doesn't have the takedown ability or takedown defense ability to stop that. So I'm really high on Rosas Jr. This card in this fight and this matchup, especially after the weight miss. So I think it's all Rosas Jr. here.
All right. Yeah, I actually picked Christian Rodriguez. I think I'm not betting him or nothing, but I thought what I seen in the Jonathan Pierce fight, it was enough for me that would have been able to take him as like plus 200 because just his scrambles, dude, he had JSP, who's a cardio machine, gassed in the 3rd round. Like he was beating up JSP JSP usually melts other people. It's just because every time this dude gets taken down, he does not accept nothing. He's a squirrely, wiry little fucker. I don't like that he missed weight though, especially because it's not something that he did on purpose to have a grappling advantage. Like you said, he went back, tried to make weight again.
Which I think that was a bad thing to do though.
Yeah, so either injury or whatever, you know what I mean? Something's going on there. So I got Rodriguez, but I'm not confident in it, and I would be leaning more Rosas now and by submission now that he missed weight, because it makes me think something's up, because he didn't do it on purpose like most people do when they're on a 2-fight losing streak, trying to not get out of the UFC, and they're fighting a grappler, so they come in 2-3 pounds heavy. I think that something's up, but I actually like the over, man. I don't know if Rosas is going to be like just what that kid showed against JSP, man. And then he looked good on the Contender Series. Like when I had a big bet on JSP and against him, and I was like, he almost submitted him twice. He had him in a deep ass guillotine, dude, twice. And I was just like, I told myself, I'm like, when this kid fights, man, I'm going to bet this kid because he's good. He's a good fighter. He's up a weight class looking this good on short notice. I'm going to bet him. But I didn't bet him this time because Rojas is a savage, dude. So give me Rodriguez, but not confident at all, especially after the weight miss. And I kind of do hope Raul Rosas Jr. is who they say he is and who he says he is, because he could be really good, you know, at 18 to be doing all this. But Christian Rodriguez is a tough matchup. So
I like Rodriguez as a fighter, though. He's really good, but I just think stylistically this matchup just doesn't favor him.
Yeah, we got to go over the next 3 and 5 minutes each, boys. So we got Font versus Yanez. Patty, I'll let you start this one.
Second money line, final money line of the night. Rob Font, the underdog, plus 160,
Ooh.
one and a half units on him as an underdog. One of these spots, man, where it's like we do have the 5-0 Adrian Yanez, who's the better finisher, but Rob Font, this is a step down in competition probably, and it's also his first 3-round fight in a while. And you could argue that a lot of these fights he's lost. If there were 3-round fights, he could have won those fights. So a guy who's probably going to out-volume his opponent, win or lose. And as long as he doesn't let himself get knocked down, because it's hard to come back from a round like that when you get knocked down against Jose Aldo, against Marlon Vera. And that's really what's undone him, you know, points-wise, minute-winning-wise, he's very, very good. And I think he's more likely to be able to mix it up and wrestle in this fight if he chose to. So give me Rob Font as a dog here. I think it's a good spot for him.
I like it. Johnny, who do you got?
Well, this is going to be fight of the night. And I was going back and forth, but I ended up going with Yanez here. I think his counters are going to be the key in this fight. Rob's jab is very, very good. He likes to push forward, but I think Yanez, his counters, he's going to land a couple really good counters. He might even drop Font. I'm not saying he's going to knock him out, but he's got very quick counters and he's very powerful too. So I think that's going to play a lot in this fight. He's going to need at least one knockdown to win him, which I think he's going to get maybe in the second or third round. But it's so close. So I could see the Font angle, though. He's got the experience. But the last 2 fights, he's got damaged up pretty good, and that's kind of scary. So give me Yanez here. I think I'm going to say he wins this one by decision, actually. So it's going to be one of those weird things where he should win by knockout, but I think he's going to end up winning by decision, one of those things.
All right, I like it. Dr. Sarowitz, who do you got, sir?
I love Yanez in this fight.
Okay.
Got to play the hot hand. And I know most people are leaning towards a finish, but I tend to agree with Johnny. I think this has the potential to go the distance. I don't see Font getting finished, but you know, then again, everyone said the same thing. Like he has been taking a lot of damage, especially in his last 2 fights. Is this when it finally catches up with him? That is very possible. I just think Yanez is so good, and I think he's one of the ones that I think has the potential to really outperform. So I think this is going to be the best he's looked yet. And he's another one of those like Iridium guys, like I was saying before, you know, when you look at like the teams and the pedigrees and who they're training with and stuff like that. So I got to give him a little bit of an edge there too. I like Yanez by decision, but I have a pretty sizable money line play too.
Right
Okay.
on.
Yeah. I actually picked Font, man. I picked Font by decision. Patrick made the best analysis there is on it, as far as just the one for me anyways, was that Font really was winning a lot of his fights, you know, if they would have been 3-round fights. It's a step down in competition as far as we know right now. You know what I mean? Yanez may be the real deal Holyfield, but like when he stepped up against Davy Grant, he really didn't look like the same Yanez that he's looked. And Davy Grant's tough as hell, and maybe him and Rob Font would probably be a good fight. But I just think that Rob Font's going to have more volume here. And if he, as long, it's almost like a Chris Curtis and the Marlon Vera thing. Even though Yanez ain't as low volume, I think he's going to be more dependent on hurting Rob Font. And if he doesn't end up hurting Rob Font and dropping him and stuff, Rob Font's going to out volume him. So, and use that veteran savvy. Now, Font's 35 years old. That's why I didn't bet it, because he's 35 years old and he's took a world of damage in his last 2 fights to Aldo and Vera. And like, he just doesn't hit very hard. Like, he couldn't get Cody Garbrandt out of there. But he's still just so active, so good. He's a veteran, man. This is like I said, I'll say it's one of my bigger faults is not being able to fade the veteran badass, you know, when it's time to fade the veteran badass against the younger dude. I always think of the veteran from 3 years ago, you know what I mean? And then sometimes I'm not adding in the improvements these younger guys can make. So it's weird. I stayed away from this.
It's a difficult thing to do for sure, to predict the drop off and predict the rise.
It's the hardest thing for my betting. That's my biggest not downfall, because I do good, you know, I bet good, but that's my thing where it's like I can realize it's hard for me. I'm always wanting to go with the experienced veteran guy, and sometimes
you'll learn a lot after this fight. From
we'll
guys,
know,
you know what I mean?
We'll know what time it is for sure. Maybe after this fight we get Yanez versus Rosas Jr. You never know.
Another thing too with this fight, real quick though, is Yanez is like combos I think are really good. He goes to the body a couple times and goes up to the top and then goes to the body. Font, like, I'm not saying he doesn't have good combos, but he's more so jab, 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 and then, you know, that's about it. Like, it's like, so I don't know. That's just me.
Another thing too, really though, really quick, was Yanez getting pieced up by freaking Costa. Like, that was terrible until, you know, Costa slowed down. But will Font slow down? And Font's 1 inch taller with 1.5 inches of reach. And I feel like, you know, that could help him a little bit. But in the end, is it going to be the power or the output? That's the big question on this fight. I think it's lined pretty good too, to be honest.
It's going to be a very good fight. I don't blame anybody going the Font route and getting that value, because it's going to be a close fight.
We got Mushroom is on Yanez. Brooklyn, Lou, he said he's got Font better value bet. Yep. George said, yo, Cody, that analysis on Rojas fight is exactly why I come here. Appreciate that. All 4 of that. We all had excellent breakdowns on that Rojas fight, man. That was good. I like the inside information that Doc had on his going out there whooping dudes, grown men at the jiu-jitsu tournaments. So it makes me think that maybe he is going to whoop on him. All those Ghosts and Vera knocked him down 5 times over those 2 fights. That's true, Mushroom. I like and respect Font, but I see Yanez overwhelming him later, 3rd round TKO. Vera took Font's soul. Good possibility.
Could be.
Yeah. All right, boys. Gilbert Burns versus Jorge Masvidal. I'll start this one off. I'm taking Burns. I think Burns could be better everywhere, including the striking. Like, Jorge has good striking, but I think, you know, we blew that shit up a little bit over the Askren and stuff. Because if you watch him fight, he's the same striker he pretty much was his whole career. It's just that he got them quick knockouts, got that knockout over Tillin and Askren, but we really haven't seen that power since, and we really didn't see too much of that before. I think Gilbert Burns has the striking to go with him to be able to stay safe as long as he don't get hit with a jab, because that's his worst enemy. But I think Gilbert Burns is able to throw some big shots, land some clinch time, land some takedowns. It's not going to be easy. He's not Kamaru. He's not Colby, but he's still got good wrestling, man. He's got good chain wrestling, and he's got way better cardio than Masvidal. Dude, you watch against Masvidal versus Jorge and Usman, like, he's already gassed, like, not gassed, but he's tired in that 2nd round. He's not the same explosive guy. I like Burns, the run he's been on. Give me Gilbert Burns. I like him by decision. Johnny, who do you got?
Yeah, I love Burns here. He is one of the 1 or 2 guys who are the most confident, if you want to say, picks here, because I think he's, like you said, I think he's better everywhere, actually. On the feet, it's closest, but I think he's better. And he showed in the Chimaev fight, he can take punches. And I think Jorge is just, I don't want to say washed up, but I just think his time is done. And, like, it's Miami. It's maybe his last fight if he loses, one of those things. I'm not going to say the R word, but Burns is just better on paper. So, like, and I know Jorge has good takedown defense. He's fought, you know, Usman a couple times. He's fought, who did he fight recently? Colby a couple times. So Maybe Burns has a little bit of trouble taking him down early, but I think in the second round, or if this fight gets to the third round, like takedowns will come easier. And then Gilbert's just gonna smother him basically. I think this fight will go to decision. Both guys are tough, but I just think Burns is gonna get the better exchanges and is gonna be the better grappler and wrestler here. So give me Burns. I'm gonna say by decision. Wouldn't be surprised if it's a late sub in the third round, but that's what I got. He's one of my most confident picks of the night.
Okay. All right. Patrick, who do you got?
Yeah, I got Burns in a parlay, 2 units staked, minus 123 parlay odds with Gutierrez next week, who I'm actually pretty confident in. So, I think it's a good spot for Burns. The money line is wide for sure at this point, because if this stays striking for any continued period of time, I think Masvidal's got very slick boxing that we forget about. But anytime he faces these people who can out-grapple him or at least put him on the defense too much, he can't get the strikes off. He can wear out down the stretch and just struggle. So you see a lot of split decision results in the past against guys like even Benson Henderson, people like that, Damian Maia. So, and of course the ass whooping we saw against Covington last time out. So give me Burns here. He's been looking good, man.
Yep. Doc, who do you got?
So I don't think this clip is going to age well, but I tell you, I really like Masvidal from maybe like 2-3 weeks ago. And I started feeling that play, because the point of this is to make money, right? So I think the only real value is on that side. I don't see any value on the Gilbert Burns side personally. And then, you have to factor in these other, let's call them intangibles, fighting in Miami, what the crowd is going to play into this too. But, after that, there are a lot of things I don't like too. I don't like the retirement talk. I don't like that, he's bringing his kids out to the weigh-in. I don't like that the first, game bred boxing event was last week. I don't like all that kind of stuff. But that being said, I mean, his takedown defense is really, really good. I wouldn't put Gilbert at the same level as a Colby Covington or Kamaru Usman. I think he's more dangerous by submission, but when's the last time Masvidal's been submitted? I want to say 2009.
Yeah, so, Toby Almeida back in the day.
Yeah, right. So it's like if he can stuff the takedowns, if he can get the crowd into it, if he can sort of trick Gilbert into striking with him, which maybe he can, maybe this can turn into like a slugfest and he can make it like a close fight. So I think like if I'm buying a lottery ticket, if I'm trying to make money on this fight, I'm 100% doing it on the Masvidal side. And another thing too, it's like Gilbert Burns, he's been in South Florida forever too. I'm sure he's a little, let's say butthurt that he's not getting the home field advantage in this one too. So I think he's got a lot to prove. I think he may try to stand with him a little bit more than he should. And if the crowd gets into it and he can trick him into getting into a brawl, I think Masvidal can win this fight.
That'd be his way for sure.
Yeah, so give it to me. Give me Masvidal money line. Come on.
Miami Masvidal, the new mythical fighter, huh?
It looks like it's Masvidal off the couch, though. To be honest, man, that boy is not in shape. He doesn't look like he's in the greatest shape in the world.
Yeah, we'll cut this if it doesn't go this way. Just cut it out of that.
I like what you said though about him just having that boxing match. Like all of his attention was on that. You're running the whole promotion. Yeah. So, all right, let's get to the last fight. We got a couple minutes. Alex Pereira versus Israel Adesanya. I'm taking Pereira, man. I'm getting them Kamaru Usman versus Leon Edwards 2 vibes. I think Pereira being the champion now is going to come out more confident. I rewatched the fight a couple times, man, and he was walking Izzy down the whole time. Izzy was like nervous, landing good shots himself, on leg kicks, but he was always on the run, and it just always seems like it's just a matter of time before Pereira gets him. So give me Pereira. I don't know if he finishes him this time, but I think he stops the wrestling and he wins more rounds. So give me Pereira. I'm not sure if he finishes him or by decision. Johnny, who do you got?
Yeah, I'm going to go with Pereira again. I went with him last time, and I'm going to go with him again. I think he's going to look better than he did in the last fight. He made a few mistakes, especially at the end of the first round of the last fight. It was a huge mistake. He won't make that mistake again. And then if you were watching any of Izzy's interviews this week, anything that on social media that he's posting, this dude Alex Pereira has a mansion inside of his head, living rent free. He doesn't know what to do. Like, it's very cringe, like more so than usual. And it's to the point where I just think Alex has his number. And it's just one of those fighters where he just can't beat. It's like Whitaker versus Izzy. Whitaker is so good, but he can't beat Izzy. And this is the fighter that Izzy can't beat. And he's like, I don't want to say he's going crazy, but it's almost to the point where it's just a little cringe. And you're like, dude, you need to focus, like, and then stop being so crazy, like on the interviews. Like his eyes look like he's crazy. Like, I don't like it. So give me Pereira. Pereira is a stone cold killer. And I think he's going to get the knockout again. I think he's going to get in the 3rd or 4th round this time. He's going to look better.
All right. That's a good possibility. Patty, who do you got?
Close fight, man. And it's hard for me to pick against Adesanya because for years, Adesanya decision was like the prop that was just free money. It was almost like Chukagian by decision. It was like that level of like reliability.
Arlovsky.
So I'm going to go with that side as far as like the fight goes over. I've got 3.5 units on the time props, 2 units on the over 2.5. 1 unit on the over 3.5, and then if it makes it all the way halfway through the 5th round, I've got a half a unit at even money there. That's how I'm playing this. I think it plays out close, but I think Pereira once again stalks him down, lands the bigger and better shots. I think it's a close decision for Alex Pereira. I don't think we see a finish.
All right, Doc, who do you got?
Yeah, I really like Alex, and I like him by decision too. You started to talk about it. It's like deja vu with Usman Edwards too. And if you look back at title fights after there has been a knockout, so many times it goes to a decision. I think Rose Namajunas did it 3 times against 3 different opponents, right? And there were a lot of those. There are even ones that shouldn't have gone that way. Think Cain Velasquez Jr. Dos Santos. He should have beat the brakes off him, but no, it didn't. So I think it's going to change the dynamic a little bit. I don't think Alex is going to have to be the aggressor like he was in the last fight. I think he just has to hold the center of the cage, and I think Izzy's going to have to dance around. Another thing, thinking about Adesanya, already getting finished. Do you think he's going to be taking more risk or less risk? Than the last fight? Do you think he's going to be more comfortable or less comfortable? And another thing nobody's talking about too, what started that fight ending sequence, it was a check leg kick. His leg was fucked. So I don't, nobody's talking about that. I don't know how crazy he's going to be ripping those leg kicks this fight too, so I think it's going to be a much slower pace, much more conservative. I know Izzy's been training some wrestling too. I'm going to go out there and say you got to give a grappling advantage to Pereira for training with Glover Teixeira all these years. So I think there's a sneaky submission play in there for Pereira just in case Izzy does try to take his first shot ever. But I really like Alex. I like him even more that you hear some of the talk like Johnny was saying coming up to the fight. Face off too. He's just a huge, scary dude. Give me Alex Pereira all day. Yeah.
All right. So man, you picked Izzy, right, Patty? But you didn't bet him, or you picked Pereira. So everybody's here is on Pereira.
Yep.
All right, everybody. It is 6 o'clock. The fights are starting. This was an excellent show, man. This was a smooth, fun show. I mean, I feel like a lot of good information got out there. We had a great time with everybody in the chat, man. We appreciate everybody coming out, hanging out with us before these fights. We had over 50, 60 people the whole show. So we appreciate you guys. Good luck, everybody, tonight. Patrick, you would give a shout out to your channel and your stuff.
Yeah, man, I always appreciate hanging out with you guys, and to make a new friend that I've been following, Dr. Sarowitz. Good to meet you, Andrew. And for our Font and Yanez bet, at least the money's going to go in one of our pockets. I always feel better that's going to a good cause. So my name is Patrick. I run a channel called Addicted to Combat. Go over there, give me a subscribe. I'm on Twitter at Combat Addict 1. Good luck and enjoy the fights, everybody. Let's make some money.
Oh, yeah. Definitely follow him. Do great information, great shows, great everything. Dr. Sarowitz, where can we find you? What you got going on?
Yeah, buddy. I got everything on my Instagram at Dr. Sarowitz. You can find my apparel brand, FaceMeetFist, up there too. We got some giveaways and stuff going on. There we go. We got the stadium jacket up there. I got my mouth guard company, Impact Dental Designs, up there too, in case we got any athletes on the channel need a mouth guard. Give me a follow. Hit me up. Thanks.
Yeah, and because we have a ton of amateur fighters, pro fighters, everybody that comes out. People that Tyler 138 MMA owns his own gym. So anybody needs any of that stuff, definitely follow him. He's got the good stuff. Everybody's links in here for Face Meets Fist for their Instagram and YouTube and stuff. So everybody check them out, man. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us. We'll see you again next week. We're gonna have another great pre-show. So appreciate everybody, man. I'll see you guys.
Right on.
Good luck tonight, everybody, with all your bets, man.
Yep.
See
Good
you
luck
guys.
with your bets, everybody. Peace out.